Hi! Halloween is just around the corner, so I'd like to read you one more Halloween book. I love the Berenstain Bears, and I hope you do too. So tonight we're going to read The Berenstain Bears, Trick or Treat. Look at that jack-o'-lantern. The sights and sounds of autumn were all around as Mama Bear pushed her shopping cart along the path that led to the Bear family's treehouse. The trees and shrubs were ablaze with color. Farmer Ben's pumpkins stood bright orange in the October sun. The crows called noisily as they searched the stubble for bits of corn, and wild geese in great V formations honked high in the sky as they flew south. But the surest sign of the season was inside the treehouse, hiding behind Papa Bear's easy chair. It was Brother Bear, waiting to try out his Halloween costume on Mama. It wasn't Halloween yet, but Brother and Sister couldn't wait to try on their new costumes. Sister was going to be a beautiful ballerina. "Well, what do you think?" she asked, taking the third position. "Shh," said Brother. "Mama's coming." Brother had chosen to be a spooky monster on Halloween. He had bought the spookiest monster mask he could find, and Mama made the rest of his costume. "Boo!" he shouted as Mama came in with the groceries. "Help, a monster!" she cried, pretending to be frightened. "It's only me, Mama," he said, showing his face. "So it is," said Mama. "Well, that just goes to show that appearances can be deceiving." "Appearances can be deceiving? What's that mean?" said Sister. "It's just a grown-up way of saying that things aren't always what they look like," explained Mama as she unpacked the groceries. "Look goodies," said Brother. "Hands off, please," said Mama. "Those are for trick-or-treaters who come to our house tomorrow night." Brother and Sister were very excited about Halloween and a little nervous too. This was the first year they would be going trick-or-treating without a grown-up along to supervise. "I'm not so sure I like the idea of them going by themselves," said Papa as he carved the pumpkin he got from Farmer Ben. "It's pretty spooky out there," he said, making a scary face at the cubs. "Now, Papa," said Mama, "if Brother and Sister want to accept the challenge of going out on their own, I think we should encourage them. But remember," she continued, turning to the cubs, "there'll be strict rules. You'll stay in your own neighborhood, and you won't eat any of the treats until you're back home." "Besides," said Brother, "we won't really be by ourselves. We made a trick-or-treat date with Cousin Freddie, Lizzie Bruin, and Queenie McBear." "There," said Papa, putting the finishing touches on the jack-o'-lantern. Then he lit a candle inside it and turned on the lights. It was pretty scary. The next day, Brother and Sister began planning the trick-or-treat route they'd follow that night. Brother got a pencil and paper and made a map of the neighborhood. That way, he explained, they wouldn't miss anybody. "Let's see now," he said. "We'll stop at our houses first. Ours, Freddie's, Lizzie's, Queenie's. Then we'll do Farmer Ben's and our sitter's, Mrs. Grizzle." "Mrs. Grizzle, for sure," agreed Sister. "She usually makes special Halloween cookies." "And Teacher Jane, she gives out good stuff." "How about Dr. Grizzly?" asked Brother. "She's into healthy snacks." "I think so, just to be polite," said Sis. "Gramps and Gran, of course." "Of course." "I'll tell you one place we are not going to miss." "We are going to miss," said Brother, folding his map. "What place is that?" asked Sister. "That one," he answered. pointing out the window at the home of old Ms. McGriz. It was a spooky, twisted old treehouse in the thicket at the end of Crooked Lane. We're definitely not going there, he added with a shiver. Why ever not? Asked Mama, who was listening. Why not? Said the cubs. Because she's a witch. That's why not. What utter nonsense, protested Mama. True, Miss McGriz is old and bent and rather forbidding looking, but I can assure you she's a perfectly nice person. But the cubs didn't believe her. Not for a minute. They knew better. Everybody knew better. No doubt about it. Ms. McGriz was a witch for sure. Just after dark, a pirate, a skeleton, and the wicked queen from Snow White came for brother and sister. They were Freddie, Lizzie, and Queenie, of course, and together they ventured out into the darkness with their trick-or-treat bags. Before they could get started collecting Halloween goodies, they were joined by some worrisome company. Too Tall Grizzly and his gang out for mischief. Too Tall didn't waste any time trying to get brother, sister, and their friends to go along with him and his gang. Come on, we'll show you goody-goodies how to have some real Halloween fun, he said, pulling brother along with him. What sort of fun? Asked brother, warily. Oh, you might say we're going to put the trick-or-treat back in trick-or-treat, the trick back in trick-or-treat, he said, chuckling. It was so dark that brother and the others didn't notice where they were headed. Hey, said sister, this is Crooked Lane. That's right, said Too Tall. We're going to play a few tricks on old Witch McGriz. Well, what sort of tricks? Asked brother. Her gnarled, twisted old treehouse loomed ahead. First, whispered Too Tall, taking a roll of toilet paper from his jacket, we'll decorate her house with a little of this. Then maybe we'll tie a few knots in her clothesline. Then smear some honey on her broomstick so she'll stick to it when she tries to fly. Oh, they sound like they're going to be mean. I don't think I like Too Tall. But before Too Tall and his gang could start their mischief, the front door opened and a bright yellow light stabbed the darkness. And there in the doorway stood the frightening figure of old Ms. McGriz. Ah, she said in a gravelly voice, I'm ready for you. Uh-oh, that sounds scary. She then led the terrified cubs into a cozy living room. To their great surprise, there was a big tray of beautiful candy apples, all prepared for Halloween visitors. Mama was right, whispered sister to brother. Miss McGriz really is a sweet, kind old person. The cubs thanked her for the beautiful apples and went about the rest of their trick-or-treating business. Later that evening, brother and sister went home looking over all the treats they'd collected. The beautiful candy apples stood out, and Papa asked where they came from. From Ms. McGriz, answered brother. From that scary-looking old grouch puss that lives down Crooked Lane, said Papa. That's right, said brother, taking a delicious bite of his candied apple. You must really try to remember, Papa, said sister, giving her apple a little lick. Appearances can be quite deceiving. They learned a lesson, didn't they? Things aren't always what they seem. But they were very careful being out trick-or-treating, and I want you to remember to be very careful if you go trick-or-treating too. Go with your mother and your father, if you can, and stay in your neighborhood, and don't eat any candy until you get home, and be kind and polite and say trick or treat, and maybe you will get lots of treats too. Bye-bye.